Opening day festivities. Marlins Park never looked better. A full house. The Atlanta Braves, the Miami Marlins. The roof is wide open. And this 2015 season is just about ready to go. Well, once you have a flyover, you know it's opening day, and you know first pitch is right around the corner. Who's throwing out the first pitch? All-Stars. Lots of them. Marlins All-Stars when we return. Crowd for new faces, familiar heroes, a Gold Glover, a Silver Slugger, the Fish, and the Braves ready to open the season. Let's go down below. The newest member of our Fox Sports Florida team. Let's welcome Jessica Blaylock. Hi, Jessica.
Oh, hey, Rich, it's so great to be here. Well, one guy that recognizes what an exciting time right now it is to be a Marlin is Jared Saltalamacchia. Salty told me that the clubhouse has a very similar feel to when he was in Boston in 2013 when the Red Sox went on to win the World Series. He said that guys are excited about coming to work. They love playing with each other. And guys, you know, in a schedule that has 162 games, chemistry is incredibly important.
All right, thank you, Jessica. The Marlins, of course, will be hosting the 2017 All-Star Game. And to throw out the first pitch, it starts with Carl Pavano, an All-Star in 2004, a member of that World Championship team in 2003. Marlins Park will host the All-Star Game. An enormous announcement before the season. Charles Johnson will receive this first pitch and start things off. Two-time All-Star, 4 Gold Gloves for CJ. Who's on the diamond? How about Mike Lowell, World Series hero for the Marlins? 4-time All-Star, 3 of those as a Marlin. Who's on the infield? How about Louis Castillo? 3-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves, World Series hero. Got to have a shortstop, and this a very good one. And an All-Star, Gonzo. Alex Gonzalez. And at first base, how about our very own Jeff Conine, glove ready, not only an all-star, but the most valuable player of the 1995 All-Star game. And so a very unique first pitch celebrating the arrival of the All-Star game in Miami. Pavano to CJ, to Lowell, Louie, to Gonzo, and finally to our Jeff Conine.
How about that? That's one of the coolest opening day first pitches ever, and we got to be part of it. All my buddies right here. Nice job, guys. Everybody. Nice job. Back to you guys.
All right, Niner, leave that ball on the mound. Henderson Alvarez is going to need it. The real first pitch, the entertainer on the mound. Henderson Alvarez takes aim at Atlanta.
The single largest contract in the history of American sports.
When they signed Giancarlo, that showed the world we want to win.
This is one building block towards a better future and a new way of life down here in Miami.
Come on.
The first thing you see is in the box score. You want to see is the home runs, et cetera, et cetera. But when you really pick apart progress as a player, it's the little things, and those were what set you to the next level.
Drive the left and deep. Get out of here. Grand slam. Ball game. Walk off.
Dude, you have something legitimate to root for actually right now.
Oh, I'm stoked. We have the best outfield in baseball. We get Jose Fernandez back, but we're in a rock star position.
With Yelich and Stan and Ozuna in the outfield, Echeverria. So these guys are going to be here for a long time.
We're here today to introduce our new Marlins to the South Florida community.
Priority one was improving our roster.
There's plenty of people here that are fired up for the Marlins this year.
I hope so.
These kinds of players come along once in a lifetime. It's one of those things where you like to nurture your own, keep your own, grow your own, and add to it. And that's how you build a winning ball club.
Listen, Mike Morris is going to have a great year, and I can't wait for Monday afternoon.
I want to win a championship again. It's addicting. This team is on the verge of doing something very special.
You know, hey, half the league would love to be in the spot we're in right now.
Breaking ball
We've got a solid bullpen.
Yes! Ball game!
When I'm on the mound, there's nobody better than me.
You know, it's going to take that never quit attitude.
We have a winning team. I think we have a playoff team.
How can you refine that talent? What are you going to do with that talent? That's the difference between a playoff team and a non-playoff team.
And it all starts in Miami in moments. Opening day 2015. Henderson Alvarez takes the hill, takes the ball, and goes after the Atlanta Braves. Only the second time that the Marlins and Braves have ever played on opening day. And here's the Braves lineup. Very different than last year. Eric Young Jr. in center. Jace Peterson, a rookie at second base. Nick Markakis, the neck is healthy. He's in the lineup. Freddie Freeman always hits the Marlins well. He's got Christian Bethancourt behind him. Kelly Johnson comes back to the Braves, and he's out in left field. Alberto Callaspo, a versatile infielder, gets the start at third base. Andrelton Simmons at short. Julio Teheran in the 9 spots. And there is Eric Young Jr. Tommy Hutton, he'll be facing Henderson Alvarez. Alvarez really stepped into the breach when Jose Fernandez went down last year with Tommy John surgery.
Absolutely right, Rich. That's the thing that really impressed me about Henderson Alvarez last year. From May 22nd through August 17th, he had a stretch. He went 7-2. He had an ERA of 170. The best ERA in the major leagues at home last year.
And Alvarez at home, and behind him, it's a familiar outfield, Hut, but it's almost a brand new infield, isn't it?
Well, the field is in terrific shape. There's the Gold Glover, Christian Yelich in left field, Ozuna and Stanton filling out the outfield. Martin Prado, solid and steady. We've seen him over the years, is at third base. Across the diamond, Michael Morse, who had a tremendous postseason with the Giants last year. What a terrific double play combo in Adeiny Echeverria and D. Gordon, and Jared Saltalamacchia behind the plate.
Henderson Alvarez on the mound, ready to go. And of course, the unique windup that Alvarez started in the minor leagues and keeps to this day. A little old-fashioned look. Ready to go. And it's on. 2015 starts with a letter-high fastball for a strike. Pinch a penny bringing you the first pitch. On the ground, D. Gordon to Michael Morse, and there's one out.
Rich, one of the best feelings of a player new to a team, new to a town, is to get that first play out of the way. D. Gordon just made it.
Jace Peterson now, the Braves in full rebuild mode, and they reinforced that last night, the night before opening day, by trading their all-star closer Craig Kimbrell along with B.J. Melvin Upton to the San Diego Padres. Jace Peterson has made this club. He'll play at second base, and he takes a strike. He's a 25-year-old out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. He's been in the big leagues with the San Diego Padres, 27 games last year. Up the middle, and Peterson's aboard with a base hit to center field.
Well, Peterson's going to get a good look from Freddie Gonzalez and the Braves. He's one of those guys they talk about. He's just a pure athlete.
Now you get into some familiar names. Nick Markakis, Freddie Freeman, Chris Johnson not in the lineup on this opening day. Alberto Callaspo getting the start at third base. So here's Markakis. With all the rebuilding and trades, you can see Martin Prado, a former Brave, there at third. The Braves did make it a move and brought Markakis in and signed him to significant money. Markakis, 4 years, $44 million. Oriole draft pick. Markakis, some nice years in Baltimore. Two-time Gold Glove winner.
They had neck surgery in December. They weren't sure if he'd be ready for opening day.
A balk is called. So Alvarez, who often fidgets on the mound, balks Peterson into scoring position. And the Braves in business here in the first. Let's see what he did.
Not exactly sure. It looked like he paused a little bit, enough.
So Peterson, who has excellent speed at second base, former college football player at East State. Markakis takes a strike.
You know, you mentioned, Rich, that unique wind-up in the first pitch for Alvarez. Unique kind of describes his persona.
Well, that's why his teammates started calling him the entertainer. Up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Peterson got a good clean jump. Ozuna's throw home is not in time, and the Braves draw first blood and score a run here in the first. And that balk costly. Markakis, his Braves debut is a good one.
Talk about this field in excellent shape, but it's very fast. The infield grass, the infield dirt. So ground balls, which Alvarez is a ground ball pitcher. We've seen a couple hit very hard by Peterson. That one by Markakis to drive home Jace Peterson.
Now Freddie Freeman with Markakis at first. It's funny, the Marlins see so much of the Braves, but the Braves haven't seen a whole lot of Henderson Alvarez. He made just 2 starts against him last year. He was 1-0 with an ERA just under 4.
A pitcher such as Henderson Alvarez, who relies on that power sinker, relies on that power changeup, has to keep all of his stuff down. Sometimes an opening day assignment, you get the jitters up a little bit, the adrenaline, maybe bring some pitches up where you don't want them.
Freeman has had success against Alvarez, and he hooks a ground ball that Morse will corral. Step on the bag, and there are 2 outs. Markakis in scoring position, and Christian Bethancourt will come up. Crowd still getting into the ballpark. Bethancourt, the Braves opening day catcher. Opening day ceremonies. Michael Buffer, John Sakata, and the Marlins and the Braves. The Braves have come out swinging. Markakis at second. Bethancourt fouls it off.
I think that would be the game plan against Henderson Alvarez. Be aggressive at the plate because he's around the strike zone. A lot of fastballs, a lot of power sinkers. Another change in Bethancourt. Saw a couple of years ago with Brian McCann every year behind the plate. Evan Gattis did a lot of the catching last year.
The Gattis trade to me was the most surprising because Gattis, young in years and great in power.
It was surprising up until last night.
Prado across the diamond in time, but Atlanta has a run. The Marlins get their first swings. 2015. Giancarlo coming up. It's 1-0 Atlanta. 2015 is underway here in Miami. And the Marlins lineup to start the season looks this way. Newly acquired D. Gordon at second base. Christian Yelich in left. Giancarlo Stanton in the 3-spot. Protection behind him with Michael Morse. Martin Prado, the former Brave, slotted fifth. Marcell Ozuna in center. Jared Saltalamacchia in the 7 spot. Adeiny Echeverria is at short. Henderson Alvarez hits ninth. J.M. Lexus brings you Miami's starting lineup. And what are the Marlins in store for with Julio Teheran?
Well, just 24 years old. The right-hander out of Cartagena, Colombia, has been tremendous. 114 last year, had a nice ERA of 2.89, and he also has a very good changeup.
D. Gordon climbs in. Gordon, a very nice spring. Not that spring numbers mean a whole lot, but the Marlins were impressed with what they saw from Gordon, who hit 349. His on base was 369. And he stole 7 bases. That's the year that he had last year. He was an all-star. He had a brilliant first half. Did tail off in the second half. And Gordon rifles one to center. Young is there, and he makes the catch. But Gordon barrels one up. Young covers a lot of ground. And the Braves defense with some new names and new faces.
And some old names and familiar faces to Braves fans. Kelly Johnson in left field. Saw Eric Young Jr. make that play. Nick Markakis, the right fielder. Alberto Callaspo at third. Andrelton Simmons, Jace Peterson, Freddie Freeman around the infield, and Bethencourt behind the plate.
Christian Yelich now. See the season that Yelich had last year. His on base was 362. And of course, he was the leadoff hitter. And so things have changed. Slotted in the 2 spot. Yelich really could hit just about anywhere in the lineup if you wanted.
Yeah, I think a lot of people project as his career matures. Now that he has that 7-year contract, it'll mature as a Marlin. Project seeing Christian Yelich maybe number 3 hitter. Guy who can hit 300, give you a little power as he gets older, but just has that pure left-handed swing.
Sitting on a 2-1 pitch. And it's out. Yelich, very good plate recognition. I would venture to say the best of any Marlin. At such a young age, that's impressive.
Another guy that has that is Michael Morse. We'll see that as the year unfolds.
Yelich shoots a ground ball in the hole. Simmons, the Gold Glover, winds up and just gets it. And so 2 outs. And here comes Giancarlo. This the first official at bat since that horrific night in Milwaukee. Stanton took a fastball to the face. It was September 11th. Teheran comes in with a fastball and gets a strike. It's 0-1. MVP type numbers last year. Breaking ball is out.
I think a lot of people forget the Marlins at that time were a couple of games under 500.
Teheran with a fastball. It's 1-2. He is tied with Dan Uggla, who, by the way, is the opening day second baseman for the Washington Nationals. Breaking ball is out. That's of interest certainly to Brave fans. The Braves are still paying Uggla. And certainly to Marlin fans who remember fondly the Dan Uggla days. Two to Stanton. Breaking ball misses down.
You can see
3-2.
You can see the assortment that Teheran has. He'll throw a slider, that curveball, the changeup we talked about, and he has a live fastball, so he'll give you a little bit of everything.
Will he give Stanton a fastball 3-2?
Not necessarily. We'd like to see it though. He did.
And he threw it by him. Stanton swings and misses. Julio Teheran has a nifty 1-2-3 first. underway in Miami. Braves, Marlins. And Atlanta's up 1-0. Helped by Henderson Alvarez balk, which put Jace Peterson in scoring position. And so the Braves will arrive in this order: Kelly Johnson, Alberto Callaspo, and Andrelton Simmons in the seconds. A pitch that misses down low to Kelly Johnson. Johnson, a guy that has found his way back to the Braves. Sends that one to center. Ozuna back in the sunshine and makes the catch. The roof is open. There are some shadows. Thankfully for the hitters, they've gone past the plate and are out into left center field. You see a few clouds above Marlins Park. 10 times last year the Marlins played with the roof open. If you're scoring at home, or what did Keith Olbermann say, if you're alone? The Marlins were 7-3 in those open roof games. Alberto Callaspo now. This is a versatile guy, Tommy, who's been around Arizona, Kansas City, Angels, Oakland. Ozuna again. And a pair of outs, quick outs for Alvarez.
Boy, you can tell right off the bat that the Atlanta Braves have a game plan of aggressiveness against Henderson Alvarez. A lot of first pitch swinging. They've been on a lot of fastballs.
Here is Andrelton Simmons. Simmons in the 8th spot. And of course, when you talk of Simmons, you talk about the best defensive shortstop on the planet right now. 2 straight Gold Gloves, 2 straight Fielding Bible Awards. And a chopper out to Echeverria, who loads up and throws him out. 5 pitches, and Alvarez is through the second. 1-0 Atlanta.
por Kendall y West Kendall Toyota.
In Miami on opening day, the Atlanta Braves have a run and a 1-0 Atlanta lead as this ball game arrives in the bottom of the second inning. Look at Henderson Alvarez. One thing that major league clubs and fans are dealing with this year, mandatory at every major league ballpark, are metal detectors to enter. And so fans will be screened to enter. Fans on the clock, pitchers on the clock, and ready to play with Michael Morse.
I think, Rich, it'll be something fans will get used to as the season goes on, and I think the players will get used to the clock. So far, so good. Morse ready to go. So is Julio Teheran.
Teheran's fastball is in to Michael Morse, who comes home. Morse, Fort Lauderdale kid, Nova High School. His 11th year in the big leagues. That's a swing, says Laz Diaz. Jeff Nelson's behind home plate. Laz Diaz at first, Chris Guccione at second, Corey Blazer, the umpire, at third. Breaking ball is a strike. You can hear the crowd starting to buzz. It's been a sunny day, and all of a sudden, some raindrops are starting to fall. Morse lays off a breaking ball. And that rain has started amidst the sunshine right in downtown. So far the roof still open. 2-2 coming to Morse. High fastball, and Teheran has used that fastball to strike out Stanton and Morse. Opening week continues. Tomorrow night, the 7th, the Braves, 7:10, half-price Lexus Legends Platinum tickets. And great discounts on tickets in several other categories with the Miami Herald half-price Tuesdays. Enjoy Passover at the Park. It's a pregame concert. That's tomorrow as the Marlins and the Braves play Game 2 of a 3-game set. And the Braves have been through this before, having to face their former, I don't want to call him a third baseman, a second baseman, or an outfielder. He played everything in Atlanta. That's Martin Prado.
Yeah, most often we saw Martin Prado either left field or at third base. And all of a sudden, in certain areas, the rain is coming down very hard.
The roof is starting to close, but it'll take a while. Here's the 1-1.
You know, I think it's interesting, Rich. I don't think I can remember over the last few years since 2012 this scenario ever taking place.
Well, this is South Florida, and as you know, Tommy, longtime resident, rain can arrive.
Oh, yeah.
At the drop of a hat.
And a couple of blocks away, it might not be raining. So there's going to be a pause for a while until the roof closes.
This is amazing. Now the question is, where do they keep the tarp here at Marlins Park? I think we're about to find out. The umpires right now discussing how long it will take the roof to fully close. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah, 12, 15 minutes, and it'll be zipped up tightly, and everything will be nice and dry.
It does not appear as if the grounds crew is bringing out the tarp. I think they're hoping that the roof is able to close and cover the infield quickly. This game from really being delayed a long time.
Well, and it's interesting that the fans over here on the first base side, they're happy because the roof has gotten over them, and so they're nice and comfy. The fans on the other side of the ballpark are scurrying around trying to find some dry land.
I'm wondering if the tarp is in Jupiter.
We saw it brought out a couple of times during some spring training games at Roger Dean Stadium.
2015 opens, and Mother Nature has arrived just to make an opening statement as well. The grounds crew is going to cover up the mound and the plate areas.
But I don't think we've had this scenario since Marlins Park has been open.
I do not remember that, although I remember sitting through a lot of these at the old ballpark. very busy offseason for both of these ball clubs. For Miami, it all started with the signing of Giancarlo Stanton, the largest contract in North American sports history. And of course, Stanton, a terrific year last year. And certainly the statement went further than just signing Stanton in the negotiations. Stanton heard what he wanted to hear, and that the Marlins were serious about building a team around him. And so following the Stanton sign, 3 other dominoes fell.
Yeah, and 3 guys who grew up in the state of Florida. You talked about Michael Morse, certainly Matt Latos, a South Florida kid, Dee Gordon from the central part of the state. And Latos and Morse attended early games of the Marlins back in the 90s. So happy to be home. Dee Gordon happy to be closer to home.
The Marlins went far from home to get Ichiro. A group of the front office went to Japan, unprecedented. That didn't happen with the Mariners or the Yankees. But the Marlins went there, and they signed Ichiro to a 1-year contract. Ichiro, who's trying to get to 3,000, still a productive major leaguer, a .317 career average, had a really nice spring, and quite honestly looks like a 31-year-old Ichiro, not a 41-year-old.
And, of course, during the spring, the extension of the contract to Christian Yelich, Gold Glover last year, 7-year contract, just a tick under $50 million, and a terrific sign, because you look at a Christian Yelich, you see how he works, you see what he's done to get to this point, and you know the sky's the limit as to what he can do in his career.
Well, that makes an easy transition to this. The sky is falling, so to speak. Rain on Marlins Park. The roof is closing. The infield is wet, and it's going to need a little bit of maintenance here. Probably some diamond dry and some raking. If you're just tuning in, the Marlins trail the Atlanta Braves in the second by a score of 1-0. Nick Markakis, in his Atlanta Braves debut, drilled a single to center and scored Jace Peterson. We'll step aside. When we return, hopefully we're back to baseball. 1-0. Braves on top.
for putting together a little rain delay. Phil, we weren't really planning on that in the offseason and all due spring training.
That was the announcement. Commissioner Rob Manfred in town. In fact, today Major League Baseball announcing that the Nationals and Washington, D.C. will get the 2018 game. So the next 4 games are all in National League cities. Cincinnati this year, San Diego next year, Miami in 17, and now the Nationals in 18.
And I believe the commissioner threw out the first pitch today in Washington, D.C.
All right, ready to get back on the saddle is Julio Teheran. Martin Prado is at the plate, and he's been behind in the count for some time now. It's 1-2. He climbs back in. Teheran has looked sharp. He has struck out 2 and retired all 4 that he's faced. Bounces one up there. Prado has always been a guy that doesn't walk a lot and doesn't strike out a lot. He is a contact guy.
The kind of guy we've seen over the years, when they're men in scoring position, you want him up there.
Turns on a fastball and stays at 2-2. Prado's trip from Atlanta to Miami went through Arizona. He was there for parts of 3 seasons. And the Yankees. Yankees last year, where he hit 282, was on base at a 321 clip. Slugged .412. Lofts that one up. So he did some damage last year. 26 doubles. And added a dozen home runs. Prado, the 31-year-old Venezuelan, against 21-year-old Julio Teheran. Little tapper back to the mound. Teheran gets Prado, and this Braves righty, just the 10th Colombian to get to the major leagues. There now are 14 that have arrived in the big leagues. The latest to get there, Dilson Herrera of the Mets. And of course, Donovan Solano was 12th. His brother Jonathan Solano, who's a Marlin farmhand now, 13th.
What a fun spring it was for the Solanos. We got to see Jonathan in a lot of games, playing in some of the same games that Donovan played in. And Julio Teheran, also an all-star, as was Henderson Alvarez last year.
Now Marcell Ozuna.
There's that big curveball from Teheran. Keep an eye on it. It's always good. Stanton doing it right now. If you're a hitter, you want to just focus. You can do so much in watching video, but you want to see what a guy has for that particular day.
Michael Morse is slotted behind Stanton. But in all honesty, as the season goes along, you could see Marcell Ozuna in that cleanup spot a few times. Ozuna, a little driller to third. Callaspo on the run, just gets him. And Teheran has retired all 6 that he's faced. Henderson Alvarez. Let's flash back. Opening day last year, it was Jose Fernandez who would strike out 9, walk no one, and the Marlins blasted the Rockies. Of course, Fernandez would get through the month of April, and then the elbow injury, and then the Tommy John surgery. And that's what propelled Alvarez not only to the top of the rotation, but him taking the ball, pitching like a top of the rotation guy, got him into the All-Star game.
Boy, just seeing his ability out there, that sweeping, hard-breaking balls, some fastballs, just gets you excited for his return sometime late June, early July.
There is Fernandez. And here is Tehran, who has not given up a hit. So Miami has gone, what, 11 straight innings without a hit, going back to Jordan Zimmerman's no-hitter to finish the 2014 season in D.C. Of course, Steven Souza Jr.'s catch sealed the deal. He's now a Tampa Bay Ray.
We'll see him this weekend.
Saturday, Major League Baseball returns to Fox Sports 1, a doubleheader, Red Sox, Yankees in the Bronx, followed by a playoff rematch, Royals and Angels. Coverage starts Saturday at 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streams live on Fox Sports Go.
Rich, you can carry that a little further. Max Scherzer of the Nationals hasn't allowed a hit through 4 innings, so the Nationals haven't given up a hit in 13 now.
That is some rotation, isn't it? Eric Young Jr. bounced to second. Braves got a run in the first. A single by second baseman Jace Peterson. He was balked to second. And then Markakis scored him. Flip from Morse. Alvarez is there. And there's 2 outs.
I always love it when Alvarez pitches, because if you're on the right side, especially if you're a first baseman, you know on a ground ball he's going to get over there. So Michael Morse, who's played first base in his career, this could be the first time he's had a chance to be the everyday first baseman. But you get a guy like Henderson Alvarez, he knows he's going to get there in plenty of time.
Alvarez, a terrific athlete, played some shortstop before he assigned as a pitcher.
First time through the order, just 19 pitches for Alvarez.
Here is Peterson now. Peterson, a college football player and a good one. He was a defensive back at McNeese State.
Yeah, Peterson had a brief trial with the Padres last year. He had 6 hits. So that hit he got earlier wasn't his first major league hit.
Gordon ventures to his left after a 5-pitch inning. Alvarez follows it up with a 7-pitch inning. Braves on top here, 1-0. 2015. A variety of new season ticket packages, prorated full season, half season, 20-game mini plan, and the new 10-game pack start at just $240. Secure your seats. 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com/2015 tickets. You also get in for batting practice, Marlins batting practice, with a season ticket plan. The doors would open for you at 4:30. Let's scout this Colombian right-hander.
Yeah, we've seen him for a couple of innings already. Very loose, fluid delivery. We talked about the changeup. We've also seen him go upstairs with his fastball and a repeatable delivery. You love to hear that from a pitcher. Generally, that's certainly a good sign.
Jared Saltalamacchia. First pitch, fastball misses. Saltalamacchia, Adeiny Echeverria, and Henderson Alvarez. Tehran has retired all 6 that he's faced. By his own admission, last year was a tough year for Saltalamacchia. A lot of work in the cage this spring. And a lot of it done with Lenny Harris. That's kind of been Lenny's project. And that is get Saltalamacchia to shorten his stride, which will shorten his swing.
Well, the Marlins are blessed to have a couple of terrific hitting instructors, Frank Menachino, and this year an assistant hitting coach in Lenny Harris. All-time 212 career pinch hits. So as a hitter, it's nice to hear different voices, and it's also nice when Menachino and Lenny are working so well together.
One thing that Saltalamacchia did pretty well at the plate last year, he walked. You see Rob Leary, bench coach. His on-base percentage, despite a low batting average, was .320. He hit .220. Swings and misses. Strikeout number 3.
Fastball tailing away. Foul tipped, and hanging on was Christian Bethancourt. So the Marlins have had some pretty good pitches to hit. So far, they just haven't solved Julio Tehran.
Adeiny Echeverria. Fish would like to see Echeverria continue to improve. He hit .276, on base at .308 last year. Strokes a ground ball to third. Callaspo, high throw. 2 outs.
Yeah, you talked about Echeverria. That was a nice improvement from the year before in batting average. We're seeing Alberto Callaspo over the last year. We've gotten used to seeing Chris Johnson at third base. The word is it could be an early platoon. Johnson, a right-handed hitter. Callaspo, some feel a little better defender at third base. But a guy who finished second in the batting race 2 years ago, Chris Johnson, not in the lineup.
Alvarez likes to take his cuts, and he takes a healthy one there, but he's behind the count 0-2.
Yeah, the entertainer's not going to get cheated.
To right, Markakis. It's out of reach. Speaking of Braves pitching, in the absence of Craig Kimbrell, he's been traded to the Padres. A few Braves have had that happen to them since the end of last year. Jason Grilli, a guy that has been around, a former Marlin, will be the closer, at least to start the season.
Well, the Braves have 2 veterans in that bullpen. Jim Johnson, who closed for the Orioles, tremendous year a couple of years ago, and certainly Jason Grilli. But Grilli's going to be the closer, at least for now.
Alvarez rifles it into the corner, And Henderson will pull in with a double.
Now what we need is a little bit of that entertainer music.
So the Marlins order gets all the way to Alvarez without a hit. And Alvarez punches one to left.
Now he got a hanging breaking ball right in his wheelhouse. He had 11 hits last year. 20 career hits and a career average of over 220. So Henderson Alvarez, we know, can swing the bat a little bit.
Well, the Braves outfield now has shortened up with Gordon at the plate and the pitcher at second. They want to be in a position to try to throw Alvarez out if Gordon has a base hit.
Keep in mind, too, a little slippery out there. There was a game in spring training, though, where Alvarez scored on a base hit, and it was a little slippery on the field as well.
Gordon lined to center his first time up. Oh, it's a swing, says Corey Blazer.
Not sure if D. Gordon's upset at himself for chasing that pitch or maybe the call. Wow.
He's behind in the count 0-2. Tehran's got 3 strikeouts already. Into left center, it drops. And the game is tied.
Boy, that's a good at bat. Anytime you're a little upset, maybe at the call or at something you did at the plate, and then you come back and get a base hit. He also hit it soft enough to allow Henderson Alvarez to score. Got in on him a little bit, stayed inside out with that swing, and dropped it into shallow left center.
And Julio Tehran
not happy at the location of that pitch he just threw.
Tehran has good quick feet on the mound. Gordon certainly in a position to run here.
I think D was telling me his father, longtime major leaguer Tom Gordon, Flash, is here in attendance. His family today.
Now Gordon has a green light, which means he can run whenever he wants.
There's that quick move.
He did not have that in Los Angeles last year. And he said that was okay. It taught him a lot about situations, limitations, when to run, when not to run. Mike Redmond has said Gordon has the green light. Of course, he swiped 64 bags last year, and he's got a new routine in terms of sliding. He was a head-first slider. It really beat him up.
And it cost him a few stolen bases, too.
Yeah, he overslid second base numerous times last year. He's running. Pitch is out. Bethancourt's throw. He is out. Bethancourt has a great arm, and he shows it there. So D. Gordon is thrown out, but not before he ties the game.
you have your family in the stands, my kids. It's a fresh start. You know, everything's new. Your uni's new. Everybody's so optimistic. There's a lot of hopes, and you're really starting a grind. But it's fun. It's fun. It's probably the one game other than the playoffs where you really are amped up and nervous and excited and all in one.
Opening day's had a little bit of everything already. Ceremony, flyover, all-star first pitch. The first rain delay in Marlins park history. They've closed the roof. And the Marlins and the Braves arrive in the fourth, 1-1.
Yeah, Mike Redmond happy to have his family in town. His boys, Michael and Ryan.
Speaking of the rain, between innings, Claude Delorme, Vice President of Ballpark Operations, went down and was speaking with the home plate umpire, who then went to both managers. And I know we don't like to speculate, Tommy Hutton, but there's a good possibility that that discussion centered on opening the roof back up after the rain showers have passed.
There's what we were talking about.
There's the eephus, the slow curveball from Henderson Alvarez. He throws it usually once, maybe twice a game. Oh-2 pitch in on the hands. Morse, Alvarez.
Great pitch, because after that slow breaking ball, then all of a sudden Alvarez came in on the hands of Markakis. 8 ground ball outs, Rich.
Well, he led the National League in inducing double play ground balls. His ground ball percentage terrific. He's not a strikeout guy. Alvarez struck out just 111 last year in 187 innings. Now Freeman swings and misses.
We talked about Freddie Freeman and how he has hit the Marlins, but last year, remember, wasn't the case. It was amazing the season that Freeman had. He had just 10 hits in 81 at bats, a 135 average against the Marlins last year.
I want to say 5 of those 10 hits came in the last series.
Yes.
Alvarez misses away. And it's 2-1. If you're just joining us, Braves got a run in the first. Nick Markakis an RBI single. Henderson Alvarez 2-out double put him in scoring position, and D. Gordon fought off an 0-2 pitch to tie the game in the bottom of the third.
Packed house. They've had a little excitement, as you mentioned. They've seen a little bit of everything, but it looks like everybody's comfortably back in their seats.
I think, I'm going out on a limb, I think they're going to get to see the roof open up again. Two to Freeman. Do you think Alvarez will ever throw that pitch on a 1-2 count or a 2-2 count?
The slow,
yes,
curveball. I don't know. I think he likes to throw it to set up the next pitch.
Into right center field, and a base hit for Freddie Freeman. So a 1-out single for the Braves first baseman. Marlins Live pregame show presented by your South Florida Honda dealers out in center field. Lots of new toys and gadgets here on Fox Sports Florida. Matt Latos makes his Marlins debut. It's already a email and Twitter Tuesday tomorrow, and a wrap up of everything that happens here on opening day.
One of the things The Braves did when they made the commitment to Bethencourt to be there every day captured. They wanted to bring in a veteran. They had John Button, former Marlin in spring training, who was eventually released. But they have another veteran, the left-handed hitting A.J. Pierzynski.
Prado has to hurry, and he gets the out at first. Scoring position for Freeman, and the left-handed bat of Kelly Johnson is up. Freddie Gonzalez has a lot of lefties in this lineup. And the switch hitter in Callaspo in the 7 spot.
Kelly Johnson had a nice run, 05, 2009 with the Braves. Versatile.
And remember him making the transition from outfield to infield, and that served him well. Versatile guy who can play in both spots. Stanton is due up second. Yelich will lead it off. Alvarez trying to keep this game at 1-1. Gordon gets the out, and Henderson Alvarez pitches around that Freeman single. Big G coming up, 1-1 game. Get Checkers authentic Philly cheesesteak, or try the new meatball sub. Pick yours, 2 for $5. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hunt, Jessica Blaylock. The windows are opening out in left field. Is that a precursor to the roof?
I think you might be right.
John Sulzer, our producer. We welcome Gary Nicholas aboard as our director for Marlins baseball. In a 1-1 game, Christian Yelich will lead it off. Giancarlo Stanton, Michael Morse will follow. Julio Teheran was outstanding. First 8 hitters, and he hung a breaking ball, 2-strike breaking ball to Henderson Alvarez, who doubled and then scored on the Gordon single.
That's a nice pitch, just that get me over curveball, first pitch strike.
Corey Blazer has had a pretty quick trigger down the third base line. Count 1-2. Maybe the toughest call for an umpire right now in baseball.
I agree.
Yelich taps it out to Peterson. And there's an out here in the bottom of the fourth. Here comes Stanton. Fox Sports Supports, proud to team up with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership. For more information, go to foxsportssupports.com. Here's Giancarlo Stanton. And he fouls a breaking ball back. Stanton struck out in the first. Julio Teheran threw a fastball by him.
You like to have sometimes better matchups on opening day. Giancarlo just 2 for 22 with 8 strikeouts in his career against Teheran.
There's the fastball in. How many pitchers will test Stanton in like that? Not that they didn't try that last year. Breaking ball rifled off of Simmons, and it pinballs out into left field.
Yeah, when you make a Gold Glover look like that, you know that ball is hit very hard, which it was. Top spin. Simmons can't get it. Should be a base hit all the way.
Simmons doesn't miss many of these, and it went right by him. That's got to be a base hit. And it is a hit. So here's Morse. Morse also struck out on a fastball in the second. In-game box score. Gordon's hit scored Alvarez. Stanton a 1-out single here.
It's another part, Rich, that we don't talk about a lot, but Stanton last year stole 13 out of 14. Obviously, you don't want him to run wild. You want him to protect himself. But he does have that ability.
If the Marlins need to run a power sweep, this is a good part of the lineup to do it behind. Stanton is 6'6", 250. Moore 6'5", 245. Morse into center, and Young is there. Here comes Prado.
I like the way, even though he made the out on that off-speed pitch, Michael Morse stayed back and still tried to drive it the other way.
Prado pulls it foul. Martin Prado had a 20-minute at bat in the second inning. 18 of those minutes were a rain delay, the first in Marlins Park history. Open roof, sudden rain. It took them 18 minutes to close the roof and then get the field dry in time to restart it. Prado's ground ball finds left field. Stan's going to go to third, or at least try, and he's out. Simmons with a very nice catch and lunge, and a gamble by the big guy. With 2 outs, he's thrown out, and the inning ends at third base. And this game is still tied 1-1. Little indecision, Tommy Hunt, and a nice play by Andrelton Simmons.
Yeah, combination of both. You watch Giancarlo, and remember they're 2 out. Right there, indecision, and he thinks there's not going to be anybody covering third. That was his first decision. The mistake was he forgot that Andrelton Simmons is an athletic shortstop. He got over to make that play.
So it's a 1-1 ball game. It's the 5th inning. Joining us now, Marlins president David Sampson. First rain delay in Marlins Park history.
I love Miami. All of a sudden, it's perfect, and then a cell pops up, and then it rains. Thank God for the roof. It took 13 minutes to close today. The wind is about 12, 13 miles an hour, so it was an extra minute or two, and there was a 16-minute rain delay.
David, we saw Claude Delorme go out and talk to Jeff Nelson, the crew chief. Was he talking about opening the windows in left or possibly opening the roof again?
He was actually asking for a job. So that was the good news for Claude, that he was seeing if he could maybe umpire.
Because we see part of the rolling windows are open.
Yeah, we're going to keep it open right now because there's so many people out there in left center field at the Budweiser bar.
That one to left, Yelich over there, and he makes the catch. And Alberto Callaspo is out #1 here in the 5th.
You know, that's what I love about opening day. People are here and people are having fun, and they saw history. It's the first ever rain delay. I'd like to say it's the last one, but it's Miami, so you never know.
Well, I like the fact that the roof was open. 10 times last year the Marlins played with the roof open. Do you foresee the roof open during the rest of this homestand?
I expected it to be open every day, but I'm a little gun shy now. I made a mistake. I mean, I'm so unhappy there was a rain delay, because it's not great. Did you have to do rainy activities or 10-run reel or anything?
No, the folks in the truck had enough material that we seamlessly went from, and we have Craig Minervini, which always helps too.
David, we had, which both of us thought was one of the greatest first pitch evers. We had all those all-stars out with Craig Minervini. That was outstanding.
That's perfect. You know, that's the first ever first pitch like that where you went around the horn. First ever rain delay. The flyover was about 45 seconds late because they got stuck in traffic, traffic up at 30,000 feet. And right now we're tied at 1. Let's just get a victory today and then take it till tomorrow.
Of course, that first pitch, recognizing that in 2017 the All-Star game is coming to Miami. That's not only historic, but it really puts a stamp on what you guys accomplished in the offseason. Had you not accomplished the Stanton signing, the Yelich signing, all the acquisitions, does the All-Star game come here?
I still think it would, but the fact is that now it comes in even a better frame of mind for everybody. we deserve an all-star game in this community. No matter who's wearing the uniform, the Miami on the front deserved it, and the fans are going to get it. It'll be great. I think you're going to have Stanton starting and Wright. I'd love to see Yelich starting. I'd love to see Jose starting. It would be very interesting, and it's well-deserved.
Gordon ventures to his left.
How about a home run derby in this ballpark?
You know what? I've seen BP, and it can be a lot of fun. So I think that home run derby, people are going to be sitting in the home run porch, and balls are going to be flying. I think we may put on a little air conditioning right from behind before the derby.
Speaking of home run derbies, batting practice. Season ticket holders this year get in early for Marlins batting practice, and that's a 4:30 start. A lot of people have always asked, how can I get to see Stanton or Morse or Yelich or Ozuna take batting practice? Even partial season ticket plans now.
Be a season ticket holder.
Right.
And you get a chance to come see home BP. It's something that more and more teams are starting to do because we were listening to our fans. It's a lot like pace of game initiatives and all the things that Commissioner Rob Manfred's trying to do. Make it better for the fans, not just here at the ballpark, but also on TV.
Off the end of the bat, Tehran taps it. Prado flips it over to first. David, you got another half inning in you?
I certainly do.
All right. 1-1 ball game. Miami and Atlanta. All the way back in 1993, April 5th, opening day, the first one in Marlins history, and Jeff Conide makes his Marlins debut count 4 for 4. Are you kidding me? A stolen base? And the Marlins beat the Dodgers 6-3. Good to see Cookie Rojas coaching third. And there's the old Billy. And there is Niner, Mr. Marlin.
He's thinking about that stolen base right now.
Michael Hill also up in the Marlins suite right now. It's a 1-1 ball game halfway through. Julio Tehran and Henderson Alvarez have pitched like all-stars, and they were all-stars last year. David Sampson, Marlins president, is with us. David, throughout Major League Baseball, this is something that every ball club and every fan base has to deal with this year, and that is metal detector screenings as you enter the ballpark. And so for all the fans that are coming to games in 2015, give yourself a little extra time to get to the ballpark. And that's not just here in Miami. It's whether you're going to a game in St. Pete, Cincinnati, New York, wherever.
It's just part of life today. Unfortunately, everyone passes through, including us when we come to the ballpark. But it goes quickly if you just empty your pockets. People may be used to it from airports, etc. Take off your cell phone, take out your money clip, and pass through, and it'll be okay.
And give you a tip. Do this on airplanes. You get a little plastic sandwich bag, and you put all those things in there. So now you have them all collected together. And then you come in, you put that in the tray, you walk through, take them all out, put the bag in your pocket, and you're good to go.
Now, the best security story I've heard in the last few days is this, guys. On this last road trip, as the Marlins were making their trip, Ichiro was kind of singled out, and they asked him at a security screening, as Ozuna stands there, if he would lift his right leg, his right foot. Ichiro promptly put his foot up behind his head.
I hope they didn't do a lot of checking.
He is that flexible at 41.
Which takes us to the story of the signing of Ichiro, how you and some of your staff, how you guys traveled to Japan to kind of solidify the deal. And Ichiro was very appreciative of that.
It was terrific. We got on a plane. We were on the ground in Tokyo for about 24 hours. And you can see he was just excited. And we had some dinner with him. We got to know him. We got to know his wife. He really is a spectacular individual. We're honored to have him. And what he's done with this team already, he's already shown himself to be a tremendous leader. And he's really happy to be a Marlin. So from our standpoint, it's a win-win.
Infield hit, Marcell Ozuna.
In the box score, that's a line drive up the middle.
That's right.
And Ichiro's been a lot of fun with Marcell Ozuna in spring training, watching them interact.
Ichiro's gotten to know all the players already. I don't know if you know, Ichiro speaks more languages than most of us. So he is terrific. He's teaching Japanese to people. Marcel's teaching him Spanish. We're trying to speak English to him. So basically there's a lot of talking, and I'm not sure if anyone's listening, but we do know the signs.
I know this from dealing with him and being by his side a lot in Seattle. He understands every word of English. He does. He's very particular about giving interviews. Saltalamacchia fouls it off. Ichiro prefers to give his interviews with a translator. He does not want to make a mistake with his answer from a word that doesn't translate from Japanese to English and have it misinterpreted in the media.
What is amazing about Japan and Japanese culture is how meticulous everyone is and how respect is such an important part of society. And you have to do the right thing. And Ichiro never wants to be wrong, never wants to do the wrong thing. And that's what makes him so great.
Frank Manichino, Marlins hitting coach, was talking about a game when he was in Oakland and Ichiro was wearing him out. And Ichiro was fairly new to the big leagues. They didn't think he spoke much English. Ichiro doubles in the gap and has a pop-up slide, and Manichino's at second. And as Ichiro pops up, he goes, "Hello, Frank."
That's funny because every time Ichiro comes to the clubhouse, that's what he says to this day. He sees Frank, he says, "Hello, Frank." Sounds like Newman.
1-2 the count on Jared Saltalamacchia in a 1-1 game on opening day.
Our grounds crew finally got to pour dirt on the infield during a game.
That one misses outside. It's 2-2.
It's really nice to have the offseason done now. All the work that we put in to get to this moment, and now it's time to play.
Ozuna chased back. Promotions this year. CBS.com, CBSSports.com ranked each team's promotions from 1 to 30. 1 being the best, 30 being needs some work. And the Marlins finished first. And that's the Back to the Future promotion you guys have got cooked up. Jared Saltalamacchia called out on strikes. And that goes back to the movie Back to the Future. Marty McFly seeing the blurb when he's in the future that the Cubs had won the World Series and had defeated the Miami Marlins. Now the Marlins were not in existence at that point, and so they were pretty prescient in their prediction then.
They won it in 9 games, as I recall.
How will that promotion unravel and unfurl here in this season?
It will certainly be a lot of unraveling. The way it'll work is we're going to have in September a bunch of cast members come, and maybe the DeLorean. There may even be a cool bobblehead relating to Back to the Future. So we're going to take advantage of it because it's fun. Who doesn't like watching Back to the Future? The only guy we couldn't find was Biff.
Oh,
hello.
You got to find Biff.
He's gone. Disappeared.
Echeverria pulls a ground ball. It's wide third. You go to CBSSports.com and you search, you'll find that very nice article with all the unique promotions that are going on in and around baseball this year.
What baseball focuses on and what we should be focusing on as fans. having fun. We're here to enjoy. We're here to entertain. So having promotions is the right thing to do.
Got to get Biff so you can dump some manure on his car.
That's maybe why we can't find him.
He's afraid of that.
A 1 pitch. Echeverria up the middle. Simmons has it. Backhands. Peterson bare hands. Wow. What a play. Simmons to Peterson to Freeman. And that is why Andrelton Simmons is the best shortstop defensively on the planet. David, thank you very much. Congratulations on an opening day. A nice one.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great season. We'll see you along the way. Take care.
It's opening day, and it's time to play ball.
'15 starts today, opening day in Miami. The roof is closed after an 18-minute rain delay. A surprise rain cloud hovered over Marlins Park. Henderson Alvarez and Julio Teheran have both been outstanding. A run apiece, 3 hits for Atlanta, 5 hits for Miami. This is Eric Young Jr. getting the start in center field. A familiar face in a Braves uniform may be playing some center field. Cameron Maybin came from the Padres overnight. They overnighted him into center field. Ozuna dives, doesn't get it. He doesn't have the ball. It's behind him. Young is fast on his way in, and he's got himself a double. Ozuna thought he caught it, raised his glove, and the ball was sitting behind him. And that's costly because Young never stopped.
Yeah, you give credit to Eric Young Jr. for not hesitating. Good effort by Marcell Ozuna. Thinks he has it. The good thing is that the ball didn't get by him and roll all the way to the wall, because Eric Young Jr. would have circled the bases.
Young thought he was out, paused for a moment, and then scampers in. Let's see if the Braves can get him over. Peterson's bunt is a good one. Alvarez looks, has to reload, and then gets the out. And this brings up Markakis with a runner 90 feet away and just 1 out. Toyota trends. Tommy talked about Alvarez at home, and he was magnificent. A 1.60 ERA. Building on his finish to 2013, which of course was a no-hitter on the last day of the regular season.
Yeah, I saw him make that play too on that nice sacrifice bunt from Peterson. They even calculate the pitchers in this department, but Henderson was #1 in the National League in range factor for pitchers. That's not a surprise.
Well, we told you that he did play some shortstop before signing as a pitcher. Infield's in. Markakis takes a strike. Line drive single to center. Gave Atlanta their first run. Bounced to first in the 4th.
Of course, Markakis spending his entire career with the Orioles prior to his 4-year contract that he signed with the Braves. Lifetime .290 hitter. Always a very good hitter.
This is where Alvarez was really good last year, and that was pitching with runners on base, getting ground balls when he needed ground balls. Two-one. There's a ground ball. Runner comes home. Gordon's got it. Fires. He is safe. Safe at the plate. If Mike Redmond wants a look at it, he's going to have to challenge. That's one nuance that has changed this year. You no longer can come to the plate and ask an umpire maybe to take a look at blocking the plate or whatever. And so here's a look, our first look. And it looks like he's in. And it looks like a good call.
Boy, it's a great jump by Eric Young Jr. A good slide. Does he get that front foot on the plate? Where runners get themselves in trouble once in a while is that front foot kind of pops up in the air, and it's the next foot, the back foot, that catches the plate. But a good slide by Eric Young, and just a good jump from third base.
That's just pure speed.
Yeah.
It's one thing Young consciously did as he got to the big leagues was change from a head first slide to a foot first slide. Something that was tough to do because his father, a prolific major league base stealer, slid head first. And Young as a kid always slid head first, but after he busted a wrist in the minor leagues, he decided enough of that.
So interesting, in this game we have two players who have changed their sliding styles.
The two fastest guys in the building.
Yeah.
D. Gordon and Eric Young Jr., who might be on the move here. Markakis has driven in both runs. The 1-1. It's a strike. Freeman bounced out in the first, singled in the 4th.
Freddie Freeman, the kind of guy, and certainly the face of the Braves right now, the guy you build your franchise around. Just a solid player, very good first baseman defensively.
I think Markakis has a real chance to make an impact both on the field and off. He's a Georgia guy as well.
Freeman's averaged 153 games played, so he's in the lineup just about every day.
You think about the Braves' 2 runs here for Freddie Gonzalez, and it's the little things that have cost the Marlins defensively. The balk by Alvarez that moved Peterson into scoring position before Markakis scored it, and then the dive by Ozuna, who thought he had the ball but didn't. And that gave Young the extra base, and that set in motion the bunt by Peterson. And Young scored on Markakis' grounder to Gordon. Full count. Markakis is running, got a good jump, swing and a miss. Saltalamacchia hesitated, and then his throw was into the runner. So a stolen base for Markakis.
When you see a catcher hesitate, and Salty really worked on his defense this spring, You see him hesitate that way, it usually means he really didn't have a grip on the ball. If he gets rid of the ball in a hurry, he probably gets Markakis. There he is. He's trying to find the grip. And if he had found it right away, he most likely would have had Markakis.
It's another little thing that allows the Braves back into scoring position.
And you don't want this little thing to hurt you again.
Christian Bethancourt has bounced to third twice. Bethancourt out of Panama is 23. Sharp grounder. Echeverria on to first in time, but the Braves scratch out another run and lead it 2-1.
It's a long season. People get so caught up on opening day and, oh my gosh, we lost opening day, but still got 161 to play, and those count a little more than opening day, honestly.
Well, on opening day, Atlanta's got a 2-1 lead. D. Gordon is due up second here in the bottom of the sixth.
Kind of spoken like someone who grew up in the game. He knows it's a long haul.
Gordon drove in Miami's only run with a single in the third. We talked about little things adding up for the Braves. It was a little thing that helped the Marlins to that run in the third, and that was a 2-out double by the pitcher, Henderson Alvarez. Julio Teheran goes right after him. And then Gordon had an 0-2 pitch in on his hands, and he dumped it into center field for a hit.
Alvarez with the only extra base hit for the Marlins today. Both pitchers have been very efficient. Alvarez thrown just 66 pitches. Teheran crossing over the 70 mark.
Alvarez with a big swing. Simmons on patrol, And there's an out Wednesday. Braves at 7:10. It's the first Kids Eat Free Wednesday night of the season. Every kid 12 and under with a ticket gets a coupon for a free KM Beef Frank. Get a bag of Frito-Lay chips, small Pepsi, or an Aquafina water. Marlins.com for tickets. So here's Gordon. The line for Tehran, 5 1/3, no walks, 4 strikeouts, 6 innings for Alvarez, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 1 strikeout.
Something that D. Gordon certainly worked on a lot is bunting with Brett Butler, but third basemen know that around the league. So Alberto Callaspo, he'll start there, and he'll even creep in a couple of steps when Tehran makes the pitch.
Brett Butler working in spring with Gordon, and one thing that Gordon really changed with his bunting is working on getting the bunt down first before leaving the box. That's something that Rod Carew passed on to Butler,
who promptly in his career then dropped down 245 bunt hits.
That's all time, right? That's the all-time lead. 3-0 to Gordon, and a strike, and it's 3-1, and you've got to know that this pitch is going to have to be right down the middle.
And you know to D. Gordon it's going to be a fastball too.
It's a strike, and it's 3-2. Gordon has made good contact. He lined out his first at bat. The RBI single came in the 3rd. And he hits that one in the air to left. Kelly Johnson is back, and he makes a catch. Fox Sports Florida on social media. You can go behind the scenes and see all you want about Marlins baseball. Fox Sports Florida social media. Just follow at Fox Marlins on Twitter and Instagram. You'll see exclusive photos. Took a panoramic shot of the opening day ceremonies. I don't know how I did, but I did tweet that out.
You'll have to show me how to do that. We'll get that social media thing going tomorrow night.
That's right. First email and Twitter Tuesday. We have a new Contessa this year. Jessica Blaylock. Yelich takes a breaking ball for a strike. Yelich has bounced out twice. Once to short, once to second. Count 2-1. Frank Menachino telling Yelich that he's going to see a lot of fastballs in front of Stanton. He gets a breaking ball and he fouls it off. And in particular, in front of Stanton and with Gordon on first, ideally. And Menachino, one thing he's preached to Yelich is don't pay any attention to Gordon. If he's running and you get a fastball to hit it. I think wow. Of all the check swings that were called strikes, that one looked like the most egregious.
Well, there was one on Gordon, the one on Yelich the last time up for him. I think he did swing. Nah, I think he was able to check that one.
Yeah. It's close. So he's still alive at 3-2, and he didn't get a fastball obviously there either. He smoked it. Ball boy knocks it down and makes a play. That's all you can ask out of your ball boy. Get a glove on it.
And he did. And part of his wrist as well.
That's why they have ice. And Yelich walks. So a 2-out walk in front of Stanton in a game where little things have hurt the Marlins. Maybe this is a little thing that can help them. Stanton was involved in a similar situation, one of those little things, when he was thrown out at third base to end the inning. That back earlier in the ball game in the fourth on a Martin Prado single to left. His hand got jammed. It pops it up. Peterson calls for it and makes the catch. And Julio Teheran still tough through 6, with Atlanta leading 2-1. Julio Teheran has been just a little bit better. The arsenal for Alvarez. Of course, the changeup for him is a devastating pitch, and it comes in 89, 90 miles an hour.
You were telling me a good story before the game about how he started to incorporate that harder changeup.
Alvarez was a Blue Jay watching the Seattle Mariners, and King Felix was pitching. And I got this from a Juan Rodriguez story in the Sun Sentinel. Fangraphs also had a nice take on it as well. He used to throw his changeup 85, 86. He saw King Felix throwing it at 90 and how devastating it was. And Alvarez said to himself, I can do that. And so all of a sudden he started throwing it harder. And that changeup, while he's not as accomplished certainly as King Felix, he was an all-star last year, and he had a very slender ERA of 2.65.
Well, it's working for King Felix a little bit today, too, against the Angels. Seattle has a 4-1 lead in the 7th inning against the Angels.
But the Mets, they were getting shut down and no hit by Max Scherzer. But the Mets have taken a 3-1 lead. They're in the bottom of the 8th, lead the Nationals in D.C. Here's Kelly Johnson, rips it to center. Ozuna in, now back, and makes the catch. Sort of the circular route. But he makes the play. 1 out in the 7th. Chevron Crazy 8 Wednesday is coming up this Wednesday. Marlins Braves at 7:10. If you bring a Chevron gas receipt of 8 gallons or more, bring it to the box office here at Marlins Park. You get your choice of an $18 Lexus Legends level ticket or a $28 home plate box ticket. That is a Crazy 8 Wednesday. So 8 gallons or more at Chevron. Bring your receipts and get a great seat for for a deeply discounted price. There are bargains to be had and discounts. All you need to do is look online, pay attention, whether it's the Miami Herald 2 for Tuesday, the Crazy 8s on Wednesday. Plenty of opportunities to get to Marlins Park. Callaspo. Slashes it to left, and that's a base hit. Yelich picks it up, brings up Simmons. You know, for the Marlins here, maybe the best thing that could happen would be Simmons to get on base, and the Braves would pinch hit for Tehran. They've got work in the bullpen.
Yeah, they do have activity down there.
And Tehran, pitch count wise, if my at-bat app would load properly, I believe is somewhere in the 80s. Alvarez, obviously you see it on the screen at 72.
We told you earlier the numbers of Giancarlo Stanton against Tehran, not very good. Andrelton Simmons just 1 for 17 in his career against Henderson Alvarez.
The app has loaded 87 pitches for Tehran. Mike Dunn in Miami's pen. Infield looking for 2. Callaspo is not a stolen base guy. Simmons a big swing, knocks it in the gap right center, long run. Stanton tracking and is there just shy of the track. And it's Tehran who is coming to the plate.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rich. I think had the Braves gotten a man on base or had gotten Callaspo in scoring position, we may have seen a pinch hitter.
So here's Tehran. Callaspo's last stolen base was in 2012. Tehran knocks it into right field. That's a base hit. So both pitchers have hits, and the lineup turns over to Eric Young Jr.
This is where, as a manager, you always start, okay, you got to plan ahead, a little concerned, because look at this inning. A line drive that Kelly Johnson hit it on the nose. The base hit by Callaspo, he hit well. Simmons hit a deep fly ball, and the pitcher, Tehran, with a base hit. So the Braves have hit some balls very hard in this inning. You got a string of left-handers after Eric Young. Peterson, Markakis, Freeman. That's why Mike Dunn's getting loose.
Of course, Young, a switch hitter. Fouls it at the plate. Young last year with the Mets had 316 at bats. He was slowed by a hamstring injury. He did not have a great year. Hit just 229. His on base was 299. That one fouled off of Jared Saltalamacchia. Counts 0-2. Marlin outfield, because Young doesn't have a whole lot of pop, is able to shorten up and put themselves in a position where they may have a shot at Callaspo at the plate if Young were to single. Jace Peterson is on deck for the Braves. Oh, 2. Pulled, just fouled. That may have scored 2 runs.
That ball got in on Young. He didn't hit it hard. He got jammed a little bit, but a few more feet the other way, that would have been a base hit that did a lot of damage. There's that pitch in. It gets in on him, but he does pull it far.
Alvarez 0-2.
Henderson Alvarez would like to get ground ball out number 15 right here.
Got him with a strikeout. So 7 innings of work for Alvarez. But the Braves, with 2 runs on 6 hits, have a 1-run lead. 7th inning stretch on opening day.
One day I could play for the Florida Marlins at the time. And, you know, I was fortunate enough when I was 18 to meet Cliff Floyd, Charles Johnson, Lenny Harris, Preston Wilson, and these guys. And I actually worked out with them for years in the off season. And, you know, they kind of took me under their wing, and so it made me even more of a Marlin fan. And, you know, now getting this opportunity, you know, at the perfect time in my career is a dream come true.
At the time, Michael Morse was a shortstop, believe it or not. He's now 6'5", 245, and a power hitter. And he has arrived finally back in Miami. For more on that, let's go down to Jessica Blaylock.
That's right, guys. Michael Morse not only coming home to South Florida, but he adds a veteran experience and championship experience to this clubhouse. He says because of that, he feels like he has some wisdom that he wants to pass on to these younger guys. And one of the most important lessons is this, that it is not always the best team on paper that wins. It's a team that does the little things, diving for a ground ball or taking an extra base. That's what makes the difference, and that's the one thing that he wants to instill in these young guys.
Well, and Jessica, the Marlins have learned that the hard way against the Braves. The little things defensively have kind of slipped through their fingers. Not a messy game defensively, but just a few little blips, and the Braves have taken advantage of it. Atlanta, we told you, has just acquired Cameron Maybin.
Yeah, they've made a couple of changes in the outfield. Maybin comes in to play center. Eric Young Jr., who was in center, moves over to play left field. Kelly Johnson comes out of the game. You talked about Michael Morse having signed and drafted as a shortstop. That's why, in talking to Perry Hill, the transition has been pretty good for him as a first baseman, because he kind of has that shortstop, that infield, those natural instincts and feet, even though he's played a lot of outfield in the major leagues.
If you missed the transaction that brought Maben here, it happened last night. It was the culmination of just a busy offseason for the Braves, unloading a lot of talent and a lot of salary. Significant in this trade for Craig Kimbrell and Melvin Upton Jr. to go to San Diego. The Braves got Maben, 2 prospects. Quinton they actually designated for assignment when he arrived. But they took on, did San Diego, $80 million in salary from Kimbrell and Upton. Maben himself brought about $18–19 million in salary that is owed to him.
Yeah, he's owed for the next 3 years. The other thing it brought the Braves, they'll have 5 picks out of the first 75 next year in the draft.
John Hart has been able to replenish the minor league system, and as you pointed out, also gather in some draft picks. Morse, Prado, and Ozuna for Miami in the bottom of the 7th. Julio Teheran has been dynamite as usual.
And the Uptons will be reunited once again.
It's going to be interesting to see how that goes, especially if Melvin Upton continues to struggle as he has struggled. Morse rips one right center field in the gap. Over for Markakis. Picks it up, and Michael Morse has his first hit as a Marlin.
Yeah, that'll feel good to him. When you talked earlier in the game, Michael Morse, a big guy, but also has good knowledge of the strike zone, stays inside the ball very well. Look how that head is down on the ball. 32 doubles last year. You thought he was thinking double, but once his ball was cut off, a single all the way for Michael Morse, who uses a pretty good sized bat. 34.5 ounces.
That's hefty. Prado singled in the 4th, bounced back to the mound in the 2nd. Atlanta's bullpen is busy. Got a lefty and a righty. James Johnson, Luis Avila.
Freddie Gonzalez in that same situation scenario that Mike Redmond was in. You get to 7th inning, first game of the year. You want to see how your pitchers react. And first batter for the Marlins gets a base hit, hits the ball well against Teheran.
Prado takes down, and it's 2-1. Not a lot of hits in that lineup against Teheran. 6 for Miami. '94th pitch of the ballgame. Prado to left field, his second hit. Young over. Morse will stop. And here comes Ozuna.
Well, Braves fans are probably saying we've seen this way too often when Martin Prado was on the other side. Second hit, good hitting. Doesn't never try to do too much, just short, compact swing.
Roger McDowell, pitching coach for the Braves, is on his way out. Ozuna is 1 for 2. That one was a little 30-foot dribbler up the third base line.
Actually, both times up, he's hit little dribblers. His out in the second inning was a little chopper, a swing chopper up the third base line.
McDowell, longtime pitching coach. This is his 10th year with the Braves. Freddie Gonzalez, former Marlins skipper, in his 5th year. And now Ozuna. Last year for Ozuna, 26 doubles, 23 homers. slugged .455. Played solid defense. And Ozuna takes outside. This is the third opening day in Marlins Park. Actually, the fourth opening day in Marlins Park history. And Ozuna into right field. It's going to fall. A base hit. Late start by Morse. And he is not that fleet of foot. So he'll hold on, and it's all set up for Saltalamacchia. Whether he faces Tehran or not is still in question.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Both hitting instructors, Frank Menachino and Lenny Harris, are very proud and impressed with the swings in this inning. The base hit by Morse, the one by Prado, and that one by Ozuna. All very good swings. Good approach.
Ozuna has the only opening day home run by a Marlin in this ballpark. And that was back opening day last year, when the Marlins scored a lot of runs against the Rockies. And Tehran is on his way out. Braves go to their bullpen. And it looks like the lefty, Avilan, Kendall, Toyota, called to the bullpen. For Miami and nobody out. Here's our Rand Eye Vision camera. Keep your eye on the ball. RandEye.com/Lacey.
There's the ball getting deep to Morse. Drives it the other way. Martin Prado hits a pretty good pitch, but stays on it. Keeps that front side in. Same with Ozuna the other way. So 3 good approaches, 3 base hits. And just like that, bases loaded, nobody out.
Morse, Prado, Ozuna, with Tehran in the dugout, and lefty Luis Avilan into the ballgame. Avilan last year an ERA in the mid-4s, 62 appearances. Infields up the middle, back for 2. Saltalamacchia, who had that miserable year last year, has struck out twice tonight.
Yeah, up there for the first time from the right side. Avilan will tail the fastball, breaking ball, but done a nice job for the Braves over the last 2.5 years.
Salty in a real nice spot here with a 1-0 pitch coming. Changeup, he swings through it. Fox Tracks.
Happy to have Fox Tracks back with us this year.
Away and down the first 2 pitches. Bouncer to third. Callaspo comes home, out there and out there. And Saltalamacchia bounces into a double play. 2 big outs for Avila. Freddie Gonzalez pops right out of the dugout, and with Echeverria up.
Well, the frustrating part about that, Rich, is that the double play went 5-2-3. You hit a double play up the middle, shortstop, you at least are able to pick up a run. Unfortunately, this ball to the third baseman and the play right in front of Callaspo.
Another Kendall Toyota called to the pen. Got the little blue car this year. Matt Latos, Alex Wood, the University of Georgia product, had a terrific year last year. 2.78. Matt Latos made 16 starts last year. Some injury issues, but seems to be healthy and makes his Miami Marlin debut tomorrow. Jim Johnson, James Robert Johnson, who was born, of course, in Johnson City, New York. And his best years with the Orioles, not so good last year with Oakland and Detroit.
But back-to-back years of 50 or more saves.
And runners
in those years, hard sinkers. That's his forte.
Second and third, Echeverria at the plate. Ichiro is on deck. No one throwing in Atlanta's bullpen right now. That hard sinker in on Echeverria's hands. Quickly, it's 0-2. Echeverria bounced to third, and then on a dynamite play by Andrelton Simmons. Had a 6-4-3 double play turned on him. Simmons going to his left. Backhand flip Peterson, a bare hand grab and turn.
The Braves have played some good defense today.
Let's see what Echeverria gets. 0-2. Breaking ball up. Well, a promising start to the inning. Michael Morse, Martin Prado, Marcell Ozuna, all with base hits. Prado's at third, Ozuna's at second. And Echeverria pops it up. It should be playable. Freeman is over, and the Marlins load the bases with nobody out and get no one home. Braves bullpen comes through, still 2-1 Atlanta.
for the Braves with a base hit in the first inning. A balk moved him to second base, put him in scoring position for Nick Markakis, one of the newest Atlanta Braves. Then for the first time in Marlins Park history, we had a rain delay with Martin Prado at the plate. It took a while, not too long. Everything was in order. And how about the first extra base hit? The first hit of the season for the Marlins was produced by Henderson Alvarez. Double. D. Gordon was able to drop a base hit into left center. Alvarez came in to score just like that, a 1-1 tie. But in the 6th inning, the Atlanta Braves were able to get a man in scoring position on this play. It turned out to be a double off the bat of Eric Young Jr. And that guy Markakis again. All the speed that time. That's why that run scored. The speed of E.Y. Jr. on the ground ball hit by Markakis. That's been all the scoring in this one. 2-1 Atlanta.
Henderson Alvarez day is done. He went 7 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits. Both the runs earned. Julio Teheran, 6 innings, a run earned. And so Mike Dunn is the first out of Miami's pen in 2015. He'll get left-handed hitting second baseman Jace Peterson, Nick Markakis, and Freddie Freeman here in the 8th inning.
Mike Dunn, Rich, all of a sudden in his 5th year as a Marlin. And he's been very consistent, very steady over his 4 years.
Of course, Dunn coming to the Marlins from the Braves in the Dan Uggla trade. Uggla, who started at second base for the Nationals, finds he and his national mates down 3-1 to the Mets in the bottom of the 9th in D.C. Peterson singled and scored in that first as a sac bunt. High energy guy and has that football player mentality. Talking to Terry Pendleton before the ball game, that's one of the things he loves about him. Hard-nosed. Told you, defensive back at Lee State, and put up really nice numbers coming up in the Padre organization, and a centerpiece in the, I guess, can we call it the first Upton trade? Yeah. There's TP.
Peterson also had a very solid spring. Got a lot of playing time and produced, hit over 320.
He was a first-round pick. Looks like a competitive balance pick. Is that what we call it now at 58th overall? Used to be the sandwich pick, the compensation picks.
I think competitive balance pick sounds better.
I like sandwich. Swing and a miss. And he strikes out. Apology for the profanity. And with that, we go to Craig Minervini. Sorry, Craig, it's a tough transition to make.
Yeah, well, believe you, Rich. No. Here's Harold and David, a long time. He's been going opening day since the 40s, and you're here with your grandson.
Here with my grandson, and we've been to every opening day for the Marlins.
Everyone.
Everyone.
It's a thing for you and your grandson?
And my son, my son is here too.
All right. How neat is this today here?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a wonderful stadium, and we're happy to be here.
All right, a lot of fans here. Let's check in on the young generation of Marlin fans right here. You got a nice view. Dennis, take a shot there. This is section 324. You can see a nice view of the ballpark. Tell me how you enjoy things today.
Yeah, we're having a great time. This is my son Braden's first game. He's 7 months old, and he's a born-to-be Marlins fan.
Remember, April the 6th, 2015, huh?
That's right, April the 6th.
You guys enjoying the game?
Absolutely, yeah.
How about the Fish this year?
Oh, yeah, they're going to crush this year.
Definitely.
All right, good to talk to a lot of fans here. Great buzz we've been talking about in the pregame, through the game, and this crowd, as you can hear, getting into it. Back to you.
All right, thanks. There's a good crowd. And they saw a little bit of everything weather-wise. Sunshine, rain, roof closed. Markakis with the count 0-2. He takes away.
It's one of those innings that a manager likes because you can go to your left-hander, and with the lefties, Peterson, Markakis, and Freeman, you know for the most part you're going to get the matchups in your favor.
A little over 24 hours ago, Braves fans were secure in the thought that if their ball club got to the 9th inning, even with all the trades they've made in the offseason, they had the premier closer. Well, I know Aroldis Chapman throws hard and strikes out a lot of guys, but Craig Kimbrell is just an incredible run of success.
4 straight years of over 40 saves.
Yeah, so the dominant closer in baseball, I'll say it. And then come to find out, he was traded last night to the San Diego Padres with Melvin Upton Jr. That is strike 3. And Dunn looks sharp. A pair of punch-outs here in the 8th. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and description to this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. Now Freeman. Freddie Freeman, a base hit back in the 4th. He's 1 for 3.
A.J. Ramos gets loose. Freddie Freeman in his career, a 300 hitter against righties, just under 260 against left-handers. But Mike Dunn is throwing some good sliders in this inning.
He's 1 and 2 on Freeman. All 162 games last year. Freeman didn't miss a game. One, 2. Struck him out inside corner. Mike Dunn comes in and makes his 2015 debut and strikes out the side. Ichiro makes his Miami debut next. Will pinch hit. And his Miami debut after a couple of seasons with the Yankees. It was a great run with Seattle. 41-year-old climbs in.
Look at that, a 317 lifetime average. First 10 years in the big leagues, he had 200 hits or more each year.
Ichiro takes a fastball up. 4,122 hits between Japan and Major League Baseball. No swing. He's got 2,844 hits. He's never appeared in a game at Marlins Park. And yesterday, for the first time with his team, he worked out in Marlins Park. I asked him, had he ever been here before? And he admitted that he snuck down to Marlins Park during spring training and worked out twice. Slow dribbler, and Freeman's got it. Ichiro is out. Johnson with that hard sinker. It's another ground ball out.
Yeah, they had matched up a few times. Ichiro now 2 for 7 in his career against Johnson. Johnson's time with the Orioles, of course, Ichiro with the Yankees and the Mariners.
So D. Gordon now, the Marlins down a run here in the bottom of the 8th. Gordon, then Yelich. If anybody reaches, Stanton. Again, it's Jason Grilli who'll be closing or attempting to close if the Braves are in that spot.
I'll tell you what, that sinker's moving so well from Johnson, it's giving Bethancourt a hard time catching it.
Gordon is lined out, flied out, has an RBI single. And there is Grilli getting ready. Gordon bunts it beautifully and then falls over. Gordon went face first on his way to first, and that was a good enough bunt that he stayed upright. He would have had himself a bunt hit.
It certainly was. It was a beautifully executed bunt. Nobody's going to throw him out, but stumbles as he comes out of the box and can't hang on to his footing. That's just a great bunt. But there's the stumble, the initial step, and then he just can't hang on.
Quite possibly the remnants from that rain shower. There's a lot of diamond dry leading down to first right out of the box, but still frustrating moment. And again, for Miami, just another little thing that has gone awry. Here's Yelich with 2 outs.
Frustrating for D. Gordon.
Yelich takes a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Off speed for a strike. After a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And the count 1-2.
Jim Johnson showing he still has some life. Freddie Gonzalez really had the choice once Kimbrel was traded. Would it be Jim Johnson? Would it be Jason Grilli? But the feeling was Johnson can give him an inning plus, sometimes 2 innings. Grilli, he just likes in the 9th inning.
Pitches in, and Yelich has worked the count full at 3-2 with Giancarlo Stanton on deck. bases. Jim Johnson strikes out Christian Yelich. Works a 1-2-3-8 to the ninth. 2-1 Atlanta. Perfect complement to your visit to Marlins Park. View maps of ballpark menus, ballpark seats. Order food from your seats. Access and display your game tickets. To get into Marlins Park, check in with the ballpark app. Receive special offers and gifts. Get MLB.com ballpark today. AJ Ramos makes his 2015 debut. Really good bullpen work from both sides. The Braves getting a double play grounder from Luis Avilan. Bases loaded, nobody out spot in the 7th. And Jim Johnson not only finished that inning, but worked a scoreless 8, keeping Miami at 1 run. Mike Dunn struck out the side in the 8th for Miami. And here's Ramos facing Christian Bethancourt.
Now the bullpens have been pretty good so far in this one. AJ Ramos was terrific last year. 68 games, a 2.11 ERA, and a 7.0 record.
28-year-old out of Lubbock, Texas. David Phelps is up. Probably just to get a little work. Phelps was used as a starter in this spring, and that's a strikeout. Ramos gathers it in and then makes an acrobatic throw.
Great play by AJ Ramos.
That's an incredibly athletic play because he tried to tag Bethancourt going by and then had to dance out and then make the throw. Watch this.
I would say maybe the only other pitcher that makes this play is Henderson Alvarez. Ball gets away from Saltalamacchia, but you see how he tried to tag, missed. The call was made by the home plate umpire, Jeff Nelson. But then he was able to regroup. He knows he missed, planted his feet, and made a good throw.
Umpires indicated that Bethancourt would not have been out for going out of the baseline. Cameron Maybin, his first at bat as a Brave.
Well, you wonder if Kimbrel arrived in Los Angeles. The Padres and Dodgers are in a 3-3 tie right now.
San Diego's had a history of great closers. Trevor Hoffman, the best of the bunch. Grilly is up. And that turns Joaquin Benoit into a very good 8th inning guy in San Diego.
Well, AJ Ramos falling behind 3-0. There's one area that he certainly admitted to needing improvement this year, and that's the bases on balls. He was able to get out of jams, but 43 walks in his 64 innings last year, and we know what Maben can do. Maben has speed to steal bases, so you hate to just put him on.
Maben battled injuries in San Diego. He fouls that pitch back. Counts 3-2.
Maben had that series a few years ago at Pro Player Stadium. He was 9 for 15 with 5 stolen bases against the Marlins.
Swing and a foul tip. Saltalamacchia holds it. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Final bench for the Marlins. We've seen Ichiro. Marlins still have Baker. He'll probably be the first weapon as far as a pinch hitter. Mathis, Solano, Don Kelly as well.
How about the bullpen? Mike Dunn and A.J. Ramos, 5 consecutive strikeouts. There's Donovan Solano.
Callaspo. It's a swing.
Can't really question it because it's kind of been that way for Corey Blazer all night, the third base umpire.
Giancarlo Stanton set to lead it off in the bottom of the ninth in a 1-run game. Ramos trying to get through the ninth. Marlins relievers Mike Dunn and A.J. Ramos have faced 5 hitters and struck out all 5. Ramos falling behind 3-1.
Well, he fell behind Cameron Maben 3-0. Came back and struck him out. He's going to have to do a little magic here.
Misses away. Callaspo is aboard, and you've got Simmons coming up, who has a little more pop.
Simmons not a real selective hitter, very aggressive up there. Never a very high on-base percentage. But last year just 7 home runs, had 17 the year before.
As we noted earlier, Callaspo hasn't stolen a base in 3 years. He's at first. Simmons a tapper. Prado cuts it off. Gets the out. Miami is down a run. Headed to the bottom of the ninth. Giancarlo Stanton coming up.
Post-game show presented by Checkers.
Marlins Live follows this ball game, and this ball game has reached the bottom of the ninth. Jason Grilli, who when he arrived in Miami was a setup man, and in 24 hours has been promoted to closer of the Braves.
I thought you were going to say when he arrived in Miami in 1999, along with Nate Bump for Livan Hernandez. That deal with the San Francisco Giants.
Really a long path through the big leagues with success late in his career. Stanton, Morse, Prado in the ninth.
Well, there's really only been one year, that was in 2013 with the Pirates, that Grilli was a closer. He saved 33 games. But always a good late inning pitcher.
Stanton in the ball game. A 1 for 3. Grilli's fallen behind 2-0. Julio Teheran was outstanding. Luis Avilan, Jim Johnson as well. And it's Grilli 2-0 to Stanton, who had a mean rip and fouls it off of Christian Bethencourt.
38 years old. Grilli still had a little something on that fastball, 95 miles an hour. Said, here it is, and Giancarlo with a nice rip.
Sellout crowd in Miami. And a tight ball game here. Stanton showed no signs in the spring of that beating and that horrific night in September in Milwaukee. The 2-1. It's up and it's out, and it's 3-1.
Very interesting. Center fielder Cameron Maben actually shading a little bit toward right center. And Eric Young Jr., the left fielder, way over, well off the line in left field.
3-1 pitch coming. And he went after it. Count full.
May have chased ball 4, but you get that 3-1, get that fastball. You want your big guy to be aggressive.
3-2. Got him with a fastball, 95. And Stanton strikes out. And Grilli continues a superb run by the Braves bullpen here.
Boy, he just reared back and threw nothing but fastballs in that at bat to Giancarlo Stanton. Put him away with 195.
Michael Morse with Prado on deck.
There's his breaking ball.
Morse lined a single to right center back in the 7th. Was flied to center and struck out. Really last year started the year with Pittsburgh, finished with the Angels. Count 0-2. So far, no Craig Kimbrell, no problem for Atlanta. Luis Avilan, Jim Johnson combining for 2 scoreless innings. Jason Grilli is 1-2 on Morse. On a breaking ball, Morse lifts it foul and out of play.
Yeah, you wonder if he'll go back to that. He's had success with fastballs. Of course, Michael Morse, Giants fans, certainly remember a big home run, the 8th inning that Morse hit against the Cardinals in the championship series in Game 5.
Bethencourt. Wants the breaking ball again, and Morse went for it. So Jason Grilli has punched out Stanton and Morse.
You know, he hung that one, and then I tell you what, Michael Morse was thinking the way I was. He was thinking, I don't know if he's going to come back with that slider again. He did. Made a much better pitch with it and kept it down and got Morse to chase it.
Prado with 2 hits tonight. Marcell Ozuna on deck. Fastball inside corner. The outset of the telecast, we talked about it, even with all the trades. Hayward, both Uptons, Gaddis. The Braves still have some really good arms in their rotation, and they have depth in their pen. Though they've lost Kimbrel. And Grilli goes to the other corner and catches a strike, and it's 0-2.
Well, the veteran right-handers picking the strike zone apart.
Look at that. Fastball lined right to Peterson, and the Braves take the opener. Jason Grilli, closer for 24 hours. His first assignment saved the day on opening day. And he does just that. And Avilan, Johnson, and Grilli save it for Julio Teheran, our T-Mobile game changer. The Colombian right-hander, 96 pitches. He was splendid tonight.
He runs his record at 5-1 now in his career against the Marlins. They'll see him a few more times this year too, Rich.
Oh yes, they will. And so Atlanta comes to Miami and spoils the opener. They do it by a score of 2-1. 6 hits for the Braves, 8 hits for the Fish. Marlins Live is around the bend. We'll light it up when we return.